going to a little bit lighter of a subject.
Go for it.
You went to Dinosaur Valley State Park recently.
Yes, I
have
did.
like a list of fossil sites that I wanna check out in my lifetime, and that's one of them. What was it like there?
It was really cool. We weren't gonna, we were planning on camping, but July in Texas is like no joke. So we ended up getting an Airbnb outside of the park, and we actually hit like an 80-degree weather day, which was great.
Yeah.
Oh, the webcam. Okay. So we went in.
And so this is it, like outside Fort Worth, Dallas area, right?
Yeah, about like an hour and a half outside of Dallas-ish. And you get the map, and the map has all of the sites where there's tracks. We didn't hit all of them, but some of the tracks are underwater, which I wasn't expecting. I didn't really do a lot of research on it before I went, and I should have, but we didn't like bring bathing suits. So you can see them from like the Outer Banks, because it's like shallow water. But it's really cool. There's this place called the Ballroom where they have all sorts of tracks, and they look like they're dancing, like because they're going in all sorts of different directions. That's why they call it the Ballroom. But we saw Acrocanthosaurus as well as Sauroposeidon tracks, which Sauroposeidon tracks looks like elephant tracks, like, you know, because it's a big brachiosaur type. And then the Acrocanthosaur is like a smaller, like an Allosaurus type. But yeah,
Allosaurus, that's a good looking dinosaur. You ever think about that?
Yeah, it's like the Jurassic Park raptors.
Yeah,
that's how I see them. But yeah, they're cool. I think they're like the scariest one, even besides T-Rex, because they're faster. Anyway, Dinosaur Valley was really cool. We hiked like 3.5 miles. It's very hilly, but it was gorgeous and definitely worth it. It was really cool.
So then if the tracks are underwater, the footprints, are they like eroding then?
You know, that's something that I was like, my brain was kind of breaking, because I was like, how there's so many factors for this to even be here in the first place, you know? I'm like, this is like 100 million years ago, and for it to have stayed, and then for water to come in and for it to still be there, I'm like, they must, like, what do they spray on it? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. But yeah, they're very deep. Like, they're a couple inches deep. It's crazy. Wow. But yeah, it was great. And they have some figurines out in the front. They have a apatosaur and a T-Rex, and they were from the 1960s New York State Fair. So they were so weird.
They look weird.
But I love them. I'm like, these aren't even close, but it's fine. They're charming.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. Just the knowledge accumulated even over like a century of dinosaurs.
Yes.
We have Tim James. He's a paleontologist. He's come on the show a couple times, and it's really interesting how expansive the field is becoming, because so many people are interested in dinosaurs that you just have more people participating in the field, you know?
Have you read The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs?
I have it right here.
Yes.
I have not read it yet.
Oh, it's delicious. I'm in the middle of it, and there's a fact within the first 10 pages, it's like, I'm gonna get this wrong. It was like, for a while in the 2000s, we were discovering a new dinosaur species once a week. And I was like, how is that even possible? It's crazy. It's an easy read. It's funny. And it's a lot, very informative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you read The Dinosaur Artist?
I have not.
That one's a good one. That one follows the story of this books. I don't have the book cover on this one.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll do that with my bookshelf. I organize them by colors. Sometimes without the cover, it looks better.
Gotcha.
And that's basically about it follows the story of this tyrannosaur species going up for auction like in New York. And then one of the ladies that was like working on it or something, she's from Mongolia, and she recognized that dinosaur is only found in Mongolia in the Gobi Desert. So that it's technically illegal to bring it out of Mongolia. So then it's like turned into this whole thing. And then it follows the fossil hunter and the finder, and it goes through his story. And the United States is the only place in the world, the only country in the world where whoever's land it's found on owns the fossil.
Yes. There's a documentary about Sue, actually. Have you seen it? Called Dinosaur 13. I saw it on Hulu a couple months ago. And it was so sad, because I'm sure you know the story of Sue, where it's like they found them in the Badlands, and then they took it to this like this company that found it, and then the person who handed it over, the person of the ranch they found Sue on, like, did a handshake versus, like, signing it off, and he came back and it like brought the FBI out and was like, that's actually my fossil. Oh, it's so sad to watch. And it just, they did jail time for like a dinosaur.
The story of Sue is pretty wild. I joke that Sue is my girlfriend, and and so when I go to the Field Museum, I always go over there. That was so, yeah. Sue's fossil went up for auction, and this was in the 90s, and the Field Museum wanted this big attraction, and so in the auction, it was the American Museum of Natural History, Field Museum, and then this real estate guy in Florida, and he was going to put it in his foyer.
That's right. Oh my God. It's like the Indiana Jones. I'm like, that belongs in a museum. Like, how could you do this? Like, but
yeah. So it sold for 7.6 million. 8.3 was Sotheby's fees, and that alerted everybody that fossils are valuable now. And so then, ever since then, you've seen an increase of, looking for dinosaur fossils and stuff.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's kind of trendy right now, which is kind of cool. Science. All right.
I'm down with that trend.
Yeah, me too.
What do you think about this? Okay. Climate change. It's exposing land that hasn't been seen before because there's no ice. And so we're going to find more and more dinosaurs, aren't we?
Or like receding water.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought about it like that. Maybe. Yeah.
You look terrified.
I'm like, I mean, I guess that's, I don't want to say silver lining, but it's so bad. But I never thought about it that way, especially because of that thing in the book I just said, where it's like a dinosaur a week, a new species, not even like a new, like, oh, this is a cousin of, this is a, it's like new species. I'm like, I mean, they roam the earth for however long.
Yeah.
There has to be a million different types, I guess.
Yeah. It's wild. Are there any other fossil sites or science sites you want to visit? Do you have like a bucket list at all?
I kind of, not so much fossil sites. I would love to go to the Badlands. But I don't know how much. I'd like to do like an amateur dig. I'm like, not a paleontologist, but I would love to go on, a touristy type thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to join James or Tim on one.
Oh, cool. Oh, that would be cool.
That would be.
It's so cool. It's
Yeah.
so cool. I would also, a couple years ago, I was very invested in Chernobyl, which I would never go. I would never go. But it's scientifically, like I read this book called Midnight in Chernobyl, and it just
Mm.
goes through everything that went wrong.
Wow.
And it's, I don't want to use the word fascinating because that's kind of like a, but it was wild to me. And I was just so enthralled in how could they do this. And it's the 80s, it's like that there, I think it was the late 80s when it happened. And I would love to go as an archaeological, like the archaeological side of it, but
Yeah.
I can't, how could you risk that,
Yeah.
Um, so I guess that's in Antarctica. I'd love to go to Antarctica. That's
Yeah.
about it.
What's it cost? I heard it's like costs like 7 grand or 17 grand to go there.
To go to, sorry, that's my laptop. For Antarctica,
Yeah.
yeah. So I've seen like Atlas Obscura do like cruises, and it's like for 14 days, it's like 8,000, and like all expense paid 8,000. And I'm like, that's, but
I love that you mentioned Atlas Obscura. I feel like
I
I'm the
know.
only person I know that that
Really?
knows about.
Okay, cool. Well, here I am. Yeah. Since the pandemic hit, it's been like I don't look at their website that much, but I'm starting to do it again, and I'm just like, it would be so cool. Their trips are awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.